Presidential election coming up on Tuesday, and this storm may very well impact the outcome. It's your voice, your vote. Just 3 days to go, and some people cannot wait. They're lining up for early voting, sometimes for up to 3 hours. Look at the size of that line. Meanwhile, the candidates are out barnstorming the battleground states where this extremely tight and utterly unpredictable race will be won or lost. ABC's Jake Tapper is traveling with the president in Mentor, Ohio. Jake, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. Now, I don't want to cause any alarm, but I'm pretty sure Ohio is going to be important this election cycle. You heard it here first. And President Obama did 3 events. He did 3 events here yesterday. He went back home. In the immortal words of the Pretenders, he came back to Ohio. He's coming back to Ohio today. He'll do another event in Ohio tomorrow, another one after that, in this mad 72-hour dash through the battleground states and to the finish line.
Small towns in Buckeye Battleground, Ohio. And in all of them, he went after Mitt Romney for a TV ad here that falsely suggests local Jeep jobs are headed to China, which the company denies.
We don't want suddenly a bunch of ads saying that, stuff that's not true. You don't scare hardworking Americans just to scare up some votes.
The president's path from now until Election Day explains how he sees his path to re-election. Ohio to Wisconsin to Iowa to Virginia, New Hampshire to Florida to Ohio to Colorado, Wisconsin to Ohio to Iowa. You'll notice that's 3 Ohio's.
Hello, Ohio!
If he wins here, Iowa and Wisconsin, it's game over. But the polls are increasingly tight, and 55% of the public still thinks the nation is on the wrong track.
Stand tall, Mr. President. God is with you. We are with you.
He can use that help. The president's doing what he can to rev up his strongest supporters from 2008 with similar themes.
Over the last 4 years, the status quo in Washington, they fought us every step of the way. What they're counting on now is that you're going to be so tired of all the dysfunction that you'll just give up, just walk away.
As far as he's making direct appeals as well on BET, an ad with Jay-Z.
What he represented to a nation of kids with hope.
In Florida, a Spanish language ad.
On Monday, he will do 3 events with Bruce Springsteen and Bianna. I want to tell you about this lineup tomorrow. Concord, New Hampshire with Bill Clinton, Hollywood, Florida with your favorite Pitbull, Cincinnati, Ohio with Stevie Wonder, and then Aurora, Colorado with Dan's favorite, Dave Matthews.
You got that wrong, Jake. It's the other way around.
Yeah, I'm the Dave fan. He's the Pitbull fan.
Oh, is that right?
All right.
I confuse you guys all the time. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I apologize.
Easy to confuse us. Jake, thanks so much. And as Jake mentioned, it's all about the battleground states and those 8 key races. And last night for Mitt Romney, it was all about Ohio. ABC's David Muir is with the Romney campaign, which is now in Newington, New Hampshire this morning. Good morning to you, David.
Good morning, Bianna, but we have Kid Rock on the Romney campaign. We listened to him last night in Ohio. But as you mentioned, right here in New Hampshire, Mitt Romney holding a rally just a short time from now. Voters here know this is where his second home is. He was the governor of neighboring Massachusetts. But this is a real sign that this campaign is not taking these 4 electoral votes for granted. But overnight, as Jake alluded to, all signs on the state, both campaigns are truly eyeing. Overnight, Mitt Romney in the must-win state of Ohio with his wife Ann, his 5 sons, his running mate, all of whom echoed which state could very well decide the election.
And Ohio, you know it. You know you're the linchpin. You're the battleground of battlegrounds.
Then Ann Romney.
And is Ohio going to do it for us?
Then the candidate himself.
Your state is the one I'm counting on, by the way. This is the one we have to win.
On stage, a who's who in the Republican Party, a show of force in this race to the finish. Among them, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who continued with his blistering criticism of the Obama administration's handling of the attack in Benghazi.
I believe some Americans who might not have to have died may have died because we had incompetence in the White House.
Romney himself has not mentioned the incident in Libya since the debates. Giuliani's harsh criticism comes in stark contrast to that other image this week, one of Romney's most prominent supporters, Republican Chris Christie, applauding the president and his response to Hurricane Sandy.
I cannot thank the president enough.
The kind of bipartisan image and message Romney is now pushing in his closing argument.
I'll reach out to both sides of the aisle, and we'll reach across the aisle in Washington. I'll endeavor to find those good men and women on both sides of the aisle.
Governor Romney here again in New Hampshire today. He'll be here on the eve of the election. The president here tomorrow. Signs that they are taking those 4 electoral votes very seriously, particularly in a race that, as you know, Dan and Viana, is a dead heat as we head into Election Day.
Hard to believe, only 3 days left. All right, David, thank you. And joining us now for more on this is ABC News political consultant Matthew Dowd. Great to see you, Matt.
Good morning. So curious to know who you think has the edge as we go into Tuesday.
Well, this marathon that hasn't been canceled, that's gone on now 700 days, and everybody's, I think, ready for this. The candidates are exhausted. I think right now, in the aftermath of what's gone on this week, as I think there's a little wind behind the sails of the president at this point in time, especially in the Electoral College. I think he has the advantage right now.
So you think Sandy had that big of an impact?
Well, if what Sandy did for sure was stop any movement that Mitt Romney might have had trying to pick up a few points in the last days. And I also think just the iconic pictures of the president, especially with the Republican governor of New Jersey, all of those pictures, I think, helped him just a little bit. And in a race that's going to be decided by a few thousand votes, a half a point or a point can really determine that.
Now, you have said both sides here, both candidates and both of their huge blocks of supporters, are convinced that their guy is going to win. So somebody is going to be badly disappointed.
Yeah, there's 2 candidates, 2 campaigns, and 2 actually huge aspects of the country that absolutely believe that their candidate's going to win. And we have not really faced an election like that in a long time. And so on election night, somebody is going to be gravely, gravely disappointed and shocked at the result.
Matt Dowd, such a pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much. And by the way, Matt's going to be part of the Powerhouse Political Roundtable tomorrow on This Week with George Stephanopoulos. And on Tuesday night, George, Diane Sawyer, and the entire ABC News political team, including Matt Dowd, will be at our election headquarters all night long, full coverage as the results come in.